How successful a person is in life depends on whether they have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. In this video, I will discuss the summary, important concepts and life lessons from the famous book Mindset by American physiologist and researcher Carol Dweck. Let's get started. Every person's mind in the world can be divided into two categories: fixed mindset and growth mindset. These two categories are opposite to each other. People with a fixed mindset always have the same mentality and way of thinking and working. Such people, once they latch onto an ideology, continue to make important life decisions based on it. For such a person, it becomes difficult to look at a situation from a new angle. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset face new challenges and explore new fields. Compared to those with a fixed mindset, such people are more willing to take risks and make decisions. Although we are born with a growth mindset, gradually society, parents, teachers, and other people change it into a fixed mindset. We cannot determine a person's mindset just by looking at their face. A person's actions and reactions reveal what kind of mindset they have. For example, when people with a fixed mindset face failure, they blame luck and circumstances. It doesn't matter to them how many mistakes they've made or why they failed. Such people simply put the blame for their failure on others and distance themselves from their own responsibility. The only aim of these people is to achieve a goal. They do this without paying attention to the process or learning. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset focus not only on their goals, but also on the learning they gain along the way, and they remember their experiences for future goals in order to become successful. Both mindsets view their success and failure differently. People with a fixed mindset see success as the ultimate achievement and failure as the ultimate defeat. I guess you might have experienced this at some point too. When you achieve a goal, you hold on to that happiness for a long time, and when you fail, you stay sad and depressed for a long time. If this really happens to you, then you are a person with a fixed mindset and you need to work on yourself. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset see their successes as milestones along their journey. For them, no success is ever the ultimate success, and no failure is ever the ultimate failure. Their main focus is always on improving and growing themselves. Generally, everyone wants to develop a positive growth mindset. But because we don't use our potential properly and end up failing, that's why we start to fear trying again next time, thinking that we'll only face failure again if we try. We think that all successful people are talented from birth, but that's not the case. Successful people achieve their goals through their efforts and consistency, whereas most people who fail want to achieve success with minimal effort. Such people look for shortcuts to do any task. Physiologists call this kind of mentality a low-effort syndrome. Besides this, people also believe that to become successful, we need to have some natural talent. This is not logical at all. On the contrary, if we invest time in developing any of our creative skills, it's possible that we can produce better results than those with natural talent. Studies say that there is a world of difference between the mindsets of winners and losers in any game. Players with a growth mindset tend to be more successful in their careers, and they show changes in three basic aspects. The first is that such sportsmen do not believe that their victory or defeat is predetermined. They believe that winning or losing depends on how they perform. The second change that players with a growth mindset notice in themselves is the ability to turn their failures into motivation. In life, there isn't a single person who has never experienced defeat. We often become very depressed after losing, but instead we should learn from it and move forward. The third aspect is that if players with a growth mindset want to win a game, they prepare for it with just as much hard work. Because players with a growth mindset are crystal clear that winning any game is directly connected to their practice. That's why such players don't treat practice as a burden, but are dedicated to their practice, no matter which field they are associated with. Both these mindsets play just as critical a role in business as they do in any other field. A fixed mindset can bring any business down from the sky to the ground, while a growth mindset can multiply its success many times over. For example, in the 20th century, the famous American motor company Chrysler Motors was once on the verge of bankruptcy. At that very time, Lee Iacocca became the CEO of the company. In the beginning, Lee made some strict decisions that helped the company start performing well again. But after a while, Lee's behavior began to change. He developed a lot of ego. He fired many of his creative employees. Basically, his mindset turned into a fixed mindset. As a result of all this, his motors company ends up ruined. Meanwhile, another company, IBM, is also on the verge of bankruptcy. The internal environment of the company is quite poor. Every employee makes decisions as they please. But when Lou Gerstner becomes the CEO of the company, the first thing he does is focus on teamwork and even rewards employees for cooperating with each other. Lou's steps send a message to the employees that they can only grow individually by cooperating with one another. Adding another plus point, Lou himself starts working at the level of an employee. This benefits Lou by allowing him to deal with employees easily without any formality. All of Lou's decisions represent his growth mindset. Here we can understand that Lee Iacocca lets his ego get in the way of his achievements. Logically, he wanted to maintain a superior image of himself in front of his employer compared to others. But Lou Gerstner operates with a growth mindset and takes all the important steps for the development of his company. This is the reason why a company like IBM continues to grow even today. Along with professional life, the impact of mindset also affects our personal relationships. Even though we say that matches are made in heaven, if we don't manage our relationship here on earth, then at some point your relationship is bound to become weak. We often see that people are always searching for a perfect person as their life partner. But we also know that no one is completely perfect. Every person has some good qualities and some bad qualities. For a good relationship, you should know how to appreciate your partner's good qualities and either transform or ignore their bad qualities. When the foundation of any relationship is built on love and understanding instead of money and success, the relationship becomes even stronger over time. A business leader believes that the image of his company or organization is much bigger than his own personal image. That's why he puts his ego aside and makes all decisions. From birth, our mindset is constantly influenced by different people and various situations. Among these, the first to have an impact are our family, relatives, and the people in the surrounding society. Unfortunately, during childhood, we have no control over our minds or the situations around us. Physiologists believe that the foundation of our mindset is built during childhood, around the ages of 6 to 10. It's not that after this age we can't change our mindset as we wish. Up to about 18 years of age, a mindset can be developed quite easily. But after the age of 18, the process of changing one's mindset becomes harder compared to before. At a young age, our brain is very flexible and can be molded and trained easily. But because in childhood we are heavily influenced by our parents and teachers, who themselves are living life with a fixed mindset, we too automatically develop a fixed mindset and avoid exploring new dimensions. However, if we want, we can convert our fixed mindset into a growth mindset. For this, you can follow these easy steps. First, accept your fixed mindset. You can never forcefully change your mindset, because a mindset isn't something you can just pick up and set aside whenever you want. That's why you first need to accept your mindset without any fear, whether it's positive or negative. By accepting your mindset, you become more aware of your thoughts and situations than before. This makes the process of changing your mindset smoother and also makes it easier to learn new concepts. Second, positive inputs to the mind. For shaping a growth mindset, having a positive mind is a basic requirement. You can input positive thoughts into your mind through self-talk. If you remind yourself of some positive thoughts daily, after some time you will realize that your mindset is more open and growth-oriented compared to before. For example, you can think, I am a person with a growth mindset. My thoughts are positive. Because of this, I am getting positive results in both my personal and professional life. I would also recommend that you listen to some mind-refreshing sounds before going to sleep, because only a fresh mind can easily develop a growth mindset. Third, seek challenges. There is no goal in the world for which a person does not face challenges on the path to achieving it. The very purpose of challenges is that by overcoming them, we become worthy of our goals. To develop a growth mindset, you need to know your strengths and weaknesses. It is challenges that introduce us to our weaknesses and strengths. That's why whatever challenges you face, you should deal with them with full focus and creativity. Fourth, help others. There are many examples that prove that those who help others are also protected and helped by nature. For this, it's not necessary that you have to join an NGO. In a simple way, you can avoid taking steps in your daily life that cause trouble to others. Even speaking politely to someone is a good starting point. Or you can start doing those small tasks yourself that you usually have others do for you. For example, making your own bed, preparing your own tea or coffee, managing your own clothes. When we start doing these little things ourselves, our mind begins to become independent, which helps convert our mindset into a growth mindset. So guys, these were some important concepts and life lessons from the book Mindset. You'll find the link to this book in the video description. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you again with more book summaries and life lessons like this. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.